everybody. My name is Alan Giles, and I have two special guests with us. I have my man to the left, Gilbert Abraham, and I have my other man to the right, Marek Welsch. So today we'll be asking them a couple of questions, and I'm going to start with Gilbert. So Gilbert, my first question would be, what does it take, in your opinion, for somebody to not just make it to the NCAA, but also, do a good job and play?
In order to play in the NCAA, you have to have a refined skill set. You have to be able to do something at a really, really high level. And the shorter you are, the more things you need to be able to do. But probably the biggest thing, and this is just for basketball in general, is you have to be able to defend your position and do a good job at it. And on the offensive end of the floor, versatility is where it's at now as far as basketball. You have to be able to play out a pick and roll. You have to be able to play out a dribble handoff. You have to be able to play out of screens, in transition, and you have to be adaptable. You have to be a versatile player. But those are probably the biggest things I would say in order to play in the NCAA.
Good. So, perfect transition. So you got my man over here who's actually getting ready to go to the NCAA. So what would be your personal, opinion to tell him on what he can do to get ready?
Yeah, he's a small guard. Typically, you have to do everything. You have to check every box. So you have to be able to play out a pick and roll, which I hear you do a great job of. Play out a dribble handoff, be able to run off of screens, and be an absolute terror on the defensive end guarding the ball. And from what I hear, those are things that he does well. So, I think he'll be very successful, playing in the NCAA.
Cool. Yeah, he does. I can vouch for that. So next question I would ask you. So as far as player development.
Yep.
So I would start with pros first.
Okay.
How do you get them prepared for the off season compared to working out with them still in season?
Okay, off-season preparation is really more about adding and refining things in your game that you probably already have, or you're really trying to add. Right? In season is about keeping you as sharp as possible and being as technically sound as possible at things that you already do, helping you to do your job better. Right? So if you have somebody who's a spot-up shooter, helping them to be more refined in regards to their balance, their dexterity, being prepared to catch and shoot, do the things they have to do, running off screens, etc. Right? In the off season, it might be, hey, maybe you need to learn how to add these isolation moves to your game so that you can be a lot better at doing those things. So that's the difference.
Okay. So that's on the pro level, but do you take that same mindset with guys that's in college too?
Yeah, it's absolutely same. Because at the end of the day, everyone's ambition, typically is to play as at high of a level as you can play. So if you're in college and you want to be an All-American in college, you're going to be pretty close to playing at a professional level while you're in college. So it's the absolute same mindset.
Good. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of guys that you get to work out professionally. So the ones that I know personally would be one, Justin Jackson here from North Carolina, and Raymond Felton. Now, I've yelled at Raymond a couple times on my TV. We're going to talk about that later. So how's the connection with those guys, and how do you prepare to get them ready for the things that they need to do on their two different teams?
Yeah, well, Raymond's been a trainee for the last 7 years, so he's almost like family. We can almost he almost knows what I'm thinking when he's thinking something, and vice versa. But in his case, he's a veteran, so a lot of the things at this stage in his career are far more technical in terms of just keeping him sharp and prepared than it is, say, for example, with Justin. But even at Raymond's stage now, he's still adding things, he's still improving. 14 years into the NBA, and where on Justin's end, this is Justin's second year in the NBA. Recently, you guys just saw he was traded to Dallas Mavericks, and in the offseason, we spent a lot of time just on him being able to improve his shooting, be able to be a lot more efficient at taking the shots that he takes, and he's had a lot of really good moments this year. I mean, scored almost 30 on the Golden State Warriors, earlier in the year, and a lot of that was based off of the work that we did in the offseason. So I'm very proud, happy with him and where it's headed.
Good. So I'm going to transition a little bit to my man Marek over here now. So for you, you're in the men's league now out here, the top division. So how has that been going for you?
Oh, it's been going great. At first it was a little bit frustrating because I didn't really play at the beginning. Coach wasn't really sure if I was able to play, and I had to adapt. I had to keep working hard. And got my first start after 5 games that I didn't play at all.
That's big time.
I took advantage of it. Coach trusts me now. I get more and more minutes, more opportunities, and I'm ready to keep fighting for my position where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Good, man. Good. I mean, I've got to catch a couple games for you, so you know I'm always rooting for you. So you came up in GBA. You've been there since you were here. So for you, how has GBA helped you for the NBL?
Well, definitely helped in 2 ways. My body-wise, I had to, being a small guard, I had to put on some muscle, get athletic, get faster, and so I would be able to compete at that level.
Okay.
And the other way that GBA has helped me was IQ-wise, because basketball at the pro level is completely different from the juniors team, from the juniors level basketball. So I have to stay sharp every time, take no possessions off, because at the juniors basketball, sometimes you shouldn't, but you can take a possession off.
Yeah.
Rest a little bit.
Yeah.
But pros basketball, it's up and down. It's offensive side, defensive side. Just gotta stay ready for everything that comes my way, and that's probably how Julian has helped me.
Yeah, we both. So you're headed to Jacksonville State, I heard. So how was your visit going to Jacksonville State?
The visit was great. I spent 3 whole days at the university. I got to see, 2 practices. Unfortunately, I didn't see any games, but I saw 2 practices. It was great experience that I could see how the practices are being led by the coach, and I saw the school. All the directions I can take, all the majors that I can choose, and it's a different world out there.
Yeah,
it's
totally
great.
different world in America. Okay, so I know you have an ex-teammate. Are you excited to partner up with him again?
Yeah. Morris is there. He's been here. It's his first year there right now, so I'm just glad that I'll have someone that I know already. I could call us the best friends from the academy, so that's just extra bonus. I'm not going there because he's there, but I'm happy that he is.
Good. Okay. Well, on the college level, can you tell the people and young GBA players here, how has GBA got you prepared for college?
Well, I would compare the GBA, the NCAA basketball to pros basketball. It's kind of the same because NCAA plays the basketball at a pretty high level. So like I said, how GBA has helped me to play at the pro level. Get my muscles up, get fast because basketball is fast out there, and just be mentally ready for the basketball over there. Overseas.
Good, man. Well, look, man, I always wish you the best of luck, man.
Yeah.
So, transitioning back to Gilbert. So, Gilbert, you've been here for what, a couple weeks now?
Yeah.
Almost. Are you ready to move in?
Yeah, actually, no.
All right, well, look.
I'm having a lot of fun.
Well, I know you've been around the guys for a while now. So, what have you seen while being at GBA, and where have you been able to, kind of like help out?
Honestly, probably the biggest thing I've seen within the GBA program is just the level of talent that's already here. I think a lot of times people think that the U.S. has the highest level of basketball, and there's a very high level, but there's quite a bit of talent here. For a lot of the kids, they're here within the program. It's just believe in yourself, continue to work on your craft, but a lot of you all are very, very talented, and there's a lot of potential for you to become even more. So that's probably the biggest thing I would say, just after being here and seeing, is like there's a lot of, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent here. And, I'd say probably the biggest thing I've probably been able to help with is, I always say I'm a glorified rebounder, so I've been a good rebounder. And, just tried to be as positive as I can be, as far as blending my expertise in that regard. So, but it's been a great experience so far, and I'm looking forward to everything else we'll be able to do here.
Good. So have you got to explore Prague at all?
I have. I've been to a few places. What's just so amazing about this place is like the buildings talk. There's, the buildings here are older than America, so it's a really cool thing to be around architecture and roads that are full of history. And so I've had a lot of fun, with good friends, the devotees being so welcoming, to me here and seeing everything here. So. I look forward to seeing more about Prague.
I felt the same way when I first got out here too. Well, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for coming. Now I'm going to open the floor. Do anybody have any questions for Gilbert or want to ask my man Marek here about anything? Questions? Anybody? Alex?
Question for Gilbert. How did you get into the individual training business?
I live in a small place in North Carolina called Laurinburg. That's why I attended college. And after I graduated college, I was teaching. And so the kids in the community, they didn't really have high-level basketball that was being done there. So I started a travel program that I ran for about 5 years. And so while I was doing that, I was the only coach coaching about 100 kids. And I had to learn how to manage and coach kids of all varying ranges of ages, skill level, etc. And what I did was some of the local churches would let me borrow their vans, and I'd pick up these kids at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we'd go to the gym, and we'd lift cardio and do skill work probably 2 hours before school and throughout the summer. And so these same kids who weren't very good, after a year or two of that, were some of the better kids in the region. And so what happened after doing that is those very same kids, a lot of the other programs, the competing programs, saw what was going on, and then I ended up getting hired away, and it became something very different from there. Then I got my first professional, which was Raymond, and then it kind of took off from there.
Any other questions? Nobody? Everybody's good? Well, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, being raised, you say you were raised in South Carolina?
No, I was raised in Maryland.
Raised in Maryland?
But I've been in North Carolina for some time.
Oh, so you DMV?
Yes, DMV.
Okay,
Fully.
DMV.
Yep.
Okay, so if you had to train, if there were one guy you could train, like for the rest of your life, like who would it be?
Wow. Somebody playing the NBA?
Yeah, NBA.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
That I could train for the rest of their career? You're trying to get me in trouble. Right? Justin Jackson. I'm going to stay with Justin.
All right.
He has a long career ahead of him, so yeah.
Okay, good. Well, that's our time, folks. I want to thank Gilbert.
Appreciate you, man.
And I want to thank my man, Marek. That's it. You made it.